Marty's a little fired up. That's right, because Marty wants to acknowledge how our culture's brain soiled into thinking that men's lives don't really matter, how they're not that important. And Marty wants to point out one very common phrase that's been used, the phrase, women and children first. When the boat starts to sink, what do they say? Women and children first. At first it sounds obvious. You're like, oh, of course, women and children first. But why? Well, Marty, that says first. Men can still come second. Yeah, but if the boat is sinking and there's not enough lifeboats, the ones who are second are the ones who die. That's what that means. Why is it that men are always the protectors? You know, it's like we men need our own sort of feminism, right? Because feminism was about creating choice for women, to give women the opportunity to do what they want, right? And still be women. You don't have to be a housewife to be a woman. You can work a corporate job. You get your PhD, right? Become a doctor. You're still a woman, right? In society's eyes. But men don't have that. No, we don't have the freedom to do what we want as men and still be considered men. If a man were to hop on that lifeboat, if a man were to say, I don't want to be a protector, I don't want to be the sacrificial lamb, he's no longer considered a man. Marty wants that freedom because Marty's afraid to drown. Marty gets really scared. He doesn't like cold water. See, that gives Marty so much anxiety already. Would you get off the boat? Would you spare your life for women and children these days? Marty was thinking about it the other day, and he was wondering, if he was on a boat and the boat started to sink, right? And they were like, women and children first, what would Marty do? First of all, Marty would say, well, that's a little bit sexist, right? Why do the women get to go? Obviously the children, Marty's not a monster, okay? Marty's not a monster that thinks that the children shouldn't live. No, he just thinks that if we want equality these days, maybe some women should stay and die with the men. Okay, maybe it needs to be a half and half. And maybe we haven't really been tested with this because the situation hasn't really arisen. Maybe we need to pay attention to the next time, a boat sinks and there's not enough lifeboats, what would happen? Marty, in that case, for his goddess, he would stay on that boat, right? Maybe. It depends. It depends on the temperature of the water. If the water is really cold, Marty doesn't like really cold water, right? If the temperature of the water is okay, right? If it's nice, like if we're in the Caribbean, then Marty would be happy, okay, to sacrifice his life and go, women and children first, all the men take a dive, right? If it was in the Arctic area, he would say, maybe we should balance this out. Maybe we should look for some equality here, okay? Just to be fair, just to be equal. Half women and half men and then the children. Because it's 2022, okay? And Marty wants to see less of this sexist ideology around.